Namaste, welcome to the MystiCOOLS. So grateful that you could be here. We are here in Puerto Rico and on this lovely beach. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about cleansing your aura, cleansing your energy body, and how important that is on a regular basis to do energy clearing. Because we have so many interactions, especially for like empaths that carry a lot of other people's energies, or just anyone who's sensitive or spiritual. It's really good to cleanse. So as my mom and I just discovered, it's very cleansing to just dive right into the ocean here and just, oh, it's so rejuvenating. I feel like my inner child coming alive, and I can feel all the worries and doubts and just all that extra like mental stuff just sort of washing away, and all the extra exhaustions or other people's energies mainly. So what I'm referring to is washing out the energetic field. So what you're left with is just your own energy, clarity, purity, just a pure channel to divine source. So in an everyday situation, we may not have access to go jump in the ocean, may not be practical on a day-to-day thing, which is perfectly fine. You can also use an Epsom salt bath to purify your energy, or just the intention of washing your hands with water. Just water in itself is like washing off the energy off your field, okay? So even when you take a shower, when I take a shower every day, I imagine or set the intention that my energy body is being cleansed. So I always kind of feel more lifted anyway after a shower. But yeah, if you can't get to salt water, that just works so much faster and is so effective. But you can also use Epsom salt, springs, if you can get to a spring, any kind of water, just a shower with, Epsom salts again, or, just setting that intention. But yeah, if you can't get to the ocean, it's really rejuvenating. And another thing is, when you can't always get to water or washing your hands, you can just rub your hands together, set the intention that you're clearing your auric field, wash that over, and clear off your field, okay? So just put your hands and just go down to your feet and brush it off, brush it off, brush it off, and give it to the universe. I also do some to clear my field. I will sometimes hug a tree. That's helpful, or put my hands on the ground and thank Mother Earth for taking it, and thank God for taking the energy off me. So, and I also wash my hands again, or showering with the intention to not only clean my physical body, but to clean my energy body. Because over time we collect so many different, so many different energies from so many different interactions that we have throughout the day, communications, even just driving down the road, we're picking up stuff in our auric field, what we listen to, what we're absorbing, all of that, it goes into your energy field. So washing the things that aren't necessary to keep in there is vitally important. So we've been on this mission trip here in Puerto Rico, and there's been a lot of transformation and a lot of things, and as an empath, I feel so blessed to have learned these techniques. I'll hug a tree, I'll wash my hands, I'll use intention, I use the palms when I can't do nothing else. But just, every little bit I could, washing my hands, hugging trees, putting my hands on the ground, rubbing my palms together. All these techniques I've learned over time, it's really kept my balance throughout this whole entire process. Even when you can't get to those things, there are ways, and this is, ideally jumping in the ocean was absolutely a blessing, but I couldn't get there at first. It was raining, it was busy, we were on a mission trip, there were priorities over our pleasure of jumping in the ocean. You know what I mean? There was like a lot more priorities. The sun wasn't even shining. It was one of those, I kept calling it the cosmic joke, because my mom wanted to jump into the ocean so much. She's like, it clears my mind, which it clears her energy, and she wanted to jump in there, and it was like, it just kept pouring rain. I'm like, I think it's a cosmic joke. I think the priority is the mission. So once we both like accepted that, let it go, we have a little bit of time between now and we got about 15-20 more minutes left before we go into the next task and next logical thing that we have to accomplish before we leave tomorrow. But I kept telling her it's a cosmic joke and we're just gonna have to surrender this, and she said, I accepted it. I may not be able to go in the ocean today. However, we did get to go, because once we let it go, accepted it, we were blessed with this. So that is kind of sometimes a luxury. If you can go dip your aura in the ocean, it's a blessing. If you have an opportunity, if you live near the beach, it's a great thing to do. But if you don't, remember just the intention itself. Just doing this, just centering, just asking for God to transmute it was really, really helpful for me to keep that balance going throughout the time. But one thing I was going to say is, a lot of these videos we teach on the essence of transmuting energy, doing your inner work, grounding, purging, cleansing, and then what I'll be going more into is, as we ground, you purge, you cleanse, you transmute, you ground, you anchor the light, okay? So when you get to these levels and you've done these inner works, you can begin to transmute without all this stuff sometimes. So I was in the middle of some parts where the best way I could describe it is like, some people say you back up, you go take a space, you meditate, you go under a tree, you go jump in the ocean. Okay, well, what if you're in everyday life, you're super busy, you're in like the go, 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 go stuff, and there is no time to go do that. I want to reach out to people like that too. This isn't for those who are just free, styling, have all the time in the world, and they're able to go hug trees and stuff or make time. I mean, granted, we do co-create our realities and stuff. I mean, you do project what you think, so try to think in intention that you have the time to do that if you can, if you want to, if you feel inspired. But also remember that when we do all this work on the times that before we really need it, like, when you come home at night from work, you can switch your priorities. Like, before going and like sitting and watching TV, go hug a tree. It takes 2 minutes. Come home, hug a tree, put your hands on the ground before you go inside, ask for the day to be transmuted. There's little practical things you could do to start building your vessel stronger, your container, your vessel stronger. So then when you're in a position like I was the other day, I couldn't, like, my husband's like, just back off, go transmute, in the ways we transmute. I was like, well, Jesus would go help the people that had all this energy and as an empath or whatever, and was able to transmute even feeling their energy. So, I mean, I should be able to do that right. Should is a silly thing. The thing is, what I'm saying is, when we build our containers strong enough that we can anchor light, yes, you can transmute without having to go away, meditate, take your space, back off, take your time, take all the space in the world to be more comfortable. Sometimes we have to learn how to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. And I don't mean like you should, I'm just saying it's possible is what I meant. Should is just a word I keep hearing. Let's not should on anyone, but it is possible to transmute without taking all the space to do all this stuff, which is nice if you can, and it's good afterwards. But there are going to be times in your life or in your now moments when you can't go get to a beach, you can't get to a park, you're in the midst of something, and you've got to be your best there and then. And as an empath, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm bombarded. So that's when we have to go inward, hold our center, use our breath, do that inner work. So I was definitely leveled up on this trip. I definitely leveled up on this mission trip, because normally what I would do is go take my space to clear it, transmute it, purge it out, and transmute it. I didn't get that space. So what I learned is, as I was telling my husband, he's like, go transmute. I was like, there's no time, and I was feeling someone else's energy, and there was no time to go transmute it. So what I was able to do was to not react, and not even so much respond, but just go inward while in that present moment, and just taking deep breaths, and just like, oh, do you happen to feel like this? And then I'm like, okay, that's not my energy. Oh, what's going on here? Well, I really want to get out. Okay, would you like to go out with me? Let's go out. Let's go to the next thing. Even though I was like in dire need of some space. But the thing is, I learned that that's a personal thing too. There's a progress, we start with certain frequencies and steps. So you may start with having to build your container with enough momentum to be able to hold the energy, to be able to anchor it into light, to be able to transmute it and then anchor it to light. And that has a lot to do with cleansing our aura. But as we practice these techniques that we are teaching here on this channel, you begin to get stronger containers, and you can hold a lot more, and you can transmute without having to isolate or space. And I won't say isolate. It feels like isolate sometimes to go be alone. There may not be that luxury all the time, is my point. And so I don't want people to feel like, oh yeah, well you get to go hang out with trees all the time, it's super easy. There are moments when I can't get there, I'm just in it. And that's what I experienced on this mission, and it leveled me up. So we can transmute energy, clear our field, and know which energy is ours and not, and how to assist and help and serve others without having to go away. So I basically felt all this fire energy, so I just went inward, and then I asked for cooling energy to come in to settle that without me having to leave or go anywhere, transmute it or clear the space. So by being in that, it was so uncomfortable. And when I say we learn to be comfortable and uncomfortable, I mean seriously, this was some leveling up. I was so uncomfortable with this, but I learned that all that practice was leading up to this point, so that when we go and do that inner work, then we're more equipped for the outer. So all that time I've been doing the inner work was to equip me for when I needed to be present for so much outer. So I spent a lot of time inward. I came out, my container was stronger, and even though I was feeling a slight bit triggered, I pulled in, was like, okay, let's bring in the cooling energy, let's bring in the compassion, let's transmute this, let's center, so let's be available for this now moment. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going and getting your space if that's the place you're at and you're just not able to transmute it in the space without taking space. Perfectly fine. That's where you are. That's where I was at for a very long time. But as we practice, is what I'm trying to indicate here, as we clear our channel and practice more and more, you will get strong enough, you will be able to anchor more light, and you will be able to transmute much faster, more effectively, and without having to take so much time away. You can do it in the moment, because there are going to be times when you can't get out, and sometimes that can lead into a friction. Unless you can transmute it really quickly and your container is really strong, and then it transmutes to a beautiful, loving experience, and that's, you know, quite amazing. But again, cleaning your ores, vitally important. It's like personal hygiene. We want to remember to do this daily. So remember, if you don't have a beach to go jump in, use the intention with the water in your shower, washing your hands, rubbing your hands together, rubbing it through, clearing, put your hands on the earth, hug a tree, anything with nature, ask nature to ground it for you and clear your field. There's all kinds of ways to ground our energy, just using our intention. Nature is really helpful. But yeah, it was just really rejuvenating in the water. I just resonate a lot with water too, so a lot of times I'll wash my hands and stuff, so this was just like a full body cleansing. So if you can find the time to get in nature and clean your aura that way, that's great. But on a regular, remember, we got our day-to-day stuff, so like sometimes we go on vacation and we're at the beach, but we're not on vacation every day. So for those of us that are, you know, at work or in the cities or whatever it may be, you can wash your hands, you can rub your hands, and just nobody even knows what you're doing, just real quick, like whew, set the intention even for my aura to be cleansed. And just remember just to practice that daily, just like personal hygiene. We just want to practice having our energy body hygiene. So we're going to clear off that field so that we're, you know, more centered and more feeling our own energy, especially for empaths, sensitives, spiritual people, just really all of us. Cleaning our energy body is just as important as cleaning the physical body. So thank you again so much for being here with us. We're so grateful and honored. Many blessings to you. If you like this video, feel free to hit like. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, feel free to hit subscribe. And there's a little bell button. If you'd like to hit that, you'll get all the notifications of our upcoming videos. And if you'd like to leave a comment, we'd love to hear it. Thanks again. Namaste. Many blessings.